How do you feel about the game not being played anymore?
I don't disagree with it only because, like, obviously the other players weren't the ones that took the hit or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but emotionally, like, you got to think those two, something happened. The last time we saw each other,
Yeah.
we were on the field. Emotionally, like that was rough. Emotionally, I don't think that everybody would really be there. And it's not saying that they can't play another team, because they can go and play another team and be fine. But the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we have to run this back, it brings back trauma. It brings back a lot of trauma, and I don't think they should play the game. I think it's, man, we've had lockouts before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've moved on. I mean, I don't agree with Donovan Mitchell's 71 points. I believe they should take about 20 of them mugs off, only because he did it against my team. But man, he had a lane violation, but we're not going to do that.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Chuck and Mo podcast. What is
Yo.
good? What's good? How you feeling, Chuck? How you feeling?
Man, I feel good. Just got back from the gym, had buys and tries today. Toe them up.
Okay.
Toe them
Okay.
up.
Man, I got back in for the first time in a while, man. I used to be a gym buff but I got out of my routine, man. Got back in there, boy. I tell you what, it's gonna be a long journey, but I'm committed to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we definitely gonna make some progress this year for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I recently got back in the gym a couple of months ago, so I beat the New Year's resolution people. Man,
Yeah.
those gym rats that be in there and be like, "Come on, y'all, let's hurry up and get through this month so we can fit." Man, that's how I feel. People in there just doing whatever they want. It don't even make sense.
Yeah, that's how I felt, man.
Who comes in the gym workout in jeans?
Oh no, they bugging.
And
They
a button
bugging
up shirt,
for sure.
like a Dickies shirt. Weird.
Luckily, man,
But
I
it's
got a decent gym where it don't really be nobody there. So even the New Year's people can't flood the gym I go to. I got a low
Over.
key. Yep, I found a low key one in the city. Don't be a lot of people
That's
there.
lit.
And I go early in the morning, or I'm gonna try and get my 2-a-days in, working out and then running again like I was doing.
2-a-days.
Yeah, that's how I used to be, man. I used to go in the morning and then I would go later in the evening and probably do one of those sessions would just be a cardio session, cardio and ab session. And then the next session would be like weightlifting. And, I got time. I ain't got no excuses.
I
I got time.
not that I think about it, cause I be trying to squeeze all of it in at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, we pretty much both live the same life. We got time.
Yeah.
I might have to
definitely
slide
got
me
the
some
time.
2-a-days. I do got a Peloton here at the crib,
I need one of
so I
those.
might have to go out here and get on the Peloton to hit my cardio in. I'm trying to get a little treadmill and a tonal up in this joint, so I ain't gotta go nowhere.
Hey, that's the way to go, man. That's the way to go. Get your at-home gym, man.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up, man. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Get into the nitty-gritty, y'all. We got some interesting stuff to talk about today. We're gonna start it off with cancel culture. Okay. I know a lot of people know about cancel culture and how in today's society, when most of the time said celebrity does something that, the masses don't agree with, we tend to cancel people. My question is, what really is cancel culture? Is it like a real thing? And why do we hold celebrities and these people to higher standards? What do you think? How do you view cancel culture?
First of all, I think it's got to be one of the dumbest ideas in the world. I don't even know who made it up. Like, I don't. How do you cancel somebody? They're still here. They're still here. They still got now. I can say the only cancel person that I can see was actually canceled was Donald Trump when they took his Twitter and his Facebook away. Now, you truly cancel somebody, like, he ain't got no voice. But we still got people with platforms and stuff like that. So are they really canceled? Because they still able to reach their supporters, reach their followers, and everything like that. Obviously, if you don't like what they're saying, then you could just not listen to them. But I don't know, man. It's just that it's weird. It's weird. Cancel culture.
It is a weird thing, man.
It's weird. Like I said, I don't know. I don't even know what cancel culture is. Can you explain it?
What I think it is basically somebody does something, and people think that, okay, by canceling this person, I'm pulling my support, I'm pulling my interest, or, like I said, support of this person. Basically, I'm no longer going to attach myself to anything that this person may present or may do, whether it be music, acting, whatever it could be, politicians, whatever it could be. I'm pulling my support from that person. Yeah. My issue with it is we pick and choose who we cancel, and we cancel people based off stature, not based solely off what they do. If in my opinion, we all have a lot of people in our life personally that we know that have done some things that these celebrities do that we cancel them for. But are you canceling Auntie Sheila? Are you canceling Uncle Reggie? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you live your whole life like, whoever does something I disagree with, I'm going to pull my support, I'm going to pull my interest from, and I'm going to detach my name from it? I think it's so reactive to live in a cancel culture type of world. And I think it's silly, and I don't believe it to be real. And unfortunately, it does affect some of these people that get canceled. It does affect their money. It does affect their livelihood, their relationships. It does, because social media and fandom plays a huge part in jobs they get offered, roles they get, music they can release, people they can network with. I just feel like it's something that has gotten out of control.
Yeah, I think now that you explained it, as far as like, obviously not just saying it's celebrities, but like, are you canceling Auntie Sheila? Are you canceling Uncle Rick or whatever? And I can tell you, I wouldn't call it cancel culture, but I can tell you, if I don't agree with what you're doing, if I feel like you don't necessarily have if I don't have interest in what you're doing, if you don't have interest in what I'm doing, then no, I'm not going to support you. I don't care who you are. I just feel like, why would I put my time, my money, my energy into something that, is not necessarily going to give back to me, or it's not going to add any value to me? It just doesn't make any sense. I will do that. I don't care who you are. Promise you, I don't care who you
are. Understandable. But you're not holding that person to a standard, though. That's the issue.
So with celebrities, I can tell you. So I believe we had a conversation like this before, where we was like, we shouldn't hold celebrities to a higher standard, and I completely disagree with that. So my thing is those celebrities, they have influence, right? I am a big believer in influence. If you have an influence over a big group of people, I believe you should be held to a higher standard, because you have so many people under your wing. It's just like, you're responsible. To me, it makes you a little bit more responsible to what you say, because you have people that look up to you. It's just like, you're not gonna go to a playground and just act a fool or you're not gonna go to your kid's school and just act a fool because you have influence. You're an adult. Overall, you have some kind of influence on these kids, and it's like, well, this adult is doing that, so I can do it.
Right.
So if you have influence, I believe you should be held to a higher standard because of the people that you can potentially bring down or bring up. We could just look at Jim Jones.
But hear me out. How many times have you heard a celebrity say, "I'm not a role model"? Why do I? Right. I'm given a platform. I get that part. I'm given a platform. Therefore, I'm seen by the masses, where someone else who would do the same thing, they wouldn't be seen that way, right? But why is it that we force them to be role models in a sense of, you hold a responsibility to the people who follow you, who support you, who are fans of you, to behave a certain way. Now, within the rights of their contract, right? Let's talk about NBA players. Within, what's written in their contract and how they have to behave, that I get, But why can't Paul Pierce have strippers at his place and post it on live stream? Why does that get him fired? Because he's an affiliate of ESPN, but he did nothing wrong as per the guidelines of what they say, but because he's labeled as a role model, or because if there's people that follow him, he suffers from things that the average person wouldn't. If you work at Best Buy and you go on live with strippers, Best Buy not firing you. You're going to show up to work at 8:00 in the morning. Right?
I mean, yeah.
And you work for a corporation, right? But I feel like sometimes that line at which we hold celebrities, I feel like sometimes that line is too high, and that creates uneven lines within their lives. I got to tiptoe around things I want to do. You know what I mean? I got to tiptoe around things I say and people I support, because if I mess up, all eyes on me.
So look, I understand what you're saying. I've been trying to think of this saying. I know it's man, like I said, I'm trying to remember the beginning of the saying, but I'm just gonna say, with great influence come great responsibility. And look, it's not just celebrities. It's parents. It's leadership. It's those officers. It's those NCOs. It's those pastors. It's those bishops. It's anybody that you got people following you. You got people looking at you. You are automatically being held to a higher standard. And let's say being a parent is the low level of that. Now, when you become a celebrity, it's unfair to a certain extent, but if you're going to put yourself out there, that's just something you're just going to have to accept, that you got people really looking at you, and that, man, it can be a celebrity that can say something bad about, the LGBT community, and now somebody might want to commit suicide, like, regardless.
But I can say the same thing. I wouldn't, but I could say the same thing, and somebody could want to commit suicide. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But so, I'm not going to get canceled for it amongst my peers.
Okay. Yes and no. So
no, I'm going to get corrected, right? But I'm not going to get canceled. If I said something inappropriate, Chuck, you're not canceling me. You get what I'm saying? You're going to correct me. You're going to have to say what you got to say.
But it's not everybody. So, like, somebody like Dave Chappelle offend a lot of people. I'm not going to cancel him. He probably said something offensive that I don't agree with. I'm not going to cancel him. Yeah. But it's other people, they just, like I said, they really, really disagree with what he's saying. So it's just like, nah, man, like I can correct you all I want, but I really, really didn't like what you're saying, and I can't move with you like that no more, because of what you said, just because of how passionate I am about what you did, what you said, what you're doing, and all that kind of stuff. As far as like the corporations and stuff like that, if I have a business, right, and I hire, I'm just gonna say ESPN, and I got Paul Pierce on there, and we got a video of him, doing something that he's in his right to do, well in his right to do. However, bro, you work for ESPN, and they don't want themselves associated with things like that. And you have to respect that, because if I'm a business owner, and like I want to own a barbershop, if I have a barbershop and one of my barbers is out there, cutting the food, selling fake DVDs and, whatever, in the shop, nah, bro, you got to go. You can be the best barber out there, but I don't want whatever your activity is to be associated with my business, because people are going to be like, oh, he work over there. Nah, I'm just going to stay clear from that because of this one person. And you don't want that as a business owner, as a corporation. You don't want that. So people need to take heed to, if whoever you work for, you got to make sure that you represent them well, you know, and it's not saying that it's in your contract to do that, but if you don't, it's repercussions that you're going to have to go through. And that's just the life we live in. It's just obviously it's more prominent for celebrities because they're on TV, they're on our social medias a lot. If right now, with us getting it kicking, if we say something crazy, we might not get canceled automatically because we don't have a huge following like Paul Pierce, like Kanye, like Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? But if we get up there, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be genuine to who we are. I'm saying that if we are going to be genuine, we have to understand that some people are not going to like what we say all the time, and if they choose to not deal with us anymore, we got to be okay with it. We have to. We can't expect somebody to keep giving us their money and keep giving us their support and we're doing something they don't like. That doesn't even make sense.
That's true. But you cannot support me and still not cancel me. Like, the word cancel, like, it means no more, like, to get rid of. So I can pull support without canceling you. You know what I'm saying? You're your own individual.
You could, yeah.
The thing about canceling someone, you're basically coming up with the premises of they no longer matter.
I believe it's a higher punishment.
Matter.
It's a higher punishment.
Yeah, but who am I to say you have no worth, Chuck? Who am I to say? Prime example. Let's use Kanye. One of the most controversial people out there.
Yeah,
Kanye had probably been canceled, uncanceled, subscribed, everything, more than anybody, right? But I don't agree with everything he does. But I'm not going to say, hey, because Kanye has said some outlandish stuff, Graduation is a bad album, I'm not listening to it no more. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, Graduation comes on, turn the channel, I don't support Kanye. You know what I mean? I feel like that's giving energy. That's giving, power to someone. To say that someone has that power to where you cancel them. Because think about canceling. I'm not talking about pulling support. Pulling support would be like, you know what? Anything that Kanye has coming up, Yeezys, I ain't really gonna buy them. I ain't really gonna support that because I don't respect the brand or the direction that this is going or what this is for. Right? I don't have to support it. But if you support it, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I can't be like, oh, Kanye, can't we cancel Kanye over here? Like, nah, you can't do that over here. It's so much power that people give when they cancel somebody. If you read things like and how they come at people who support these people that are canceled, right? Such and such is canceled. So now anyone who supports them, oh, you got something going on, or, how can you support this person when Bill Cosby, right?
Yeah. I
can't get mad at you for watching the show, that you grew up watching because of things that have come out about the man Bill Cosby, not the actor Bill Cosby, not the entertainer.
Right.
And I think that's where we kind of lose short and we forget that these are humans. They're going to make human mistakes. They're going to do things wrong.
For sure.
They're going to make some of the same mistakes we make every single day. Right. But to say that they're a celebrity, I have to cancel them, or because most of cancel is not just one person. It's a group of people, a Twitter timeline of people who are canceled and why we cancel these people and why we don't support these people. And I think if people understood that, hey, let's pull your skeletons out the closet and let's put you on a thread and let's vote on if you would be canceled or not for your life decisions. Yeah. I think they will understand the stresses and the anxiety that can come from that and the mental health it can cause on people. It's already hard enough, in my opinion, being a celebrity and being in the spotlight all the time.
Yeah.
Now people ain't coming to my show because you said something and you got a following and you cancel me.
Okay, so I think it all boils down to we as a society, as human beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to respect the decisions that other people make. We have to.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of decisions that people make that we don't like, but we have to respect them. If that's your decision, that's your decision. Who am I to say that, like you said, let's say I want to cancel Michael Jordan or LeBron, and I put it on my Twitter and I'm telling you all these reasons that I want to cancel him. That's my opinion. Now, if other people share the same opinion, then they'll get on board. If something happens, after the fact, depending on my influence on people, then it happens. It happens. That's just something we're gonna have to deal with later on down the road. But to say that I have to be careful of my opinion and my voice because of what it might do to somebody else,
no, I agree.
It's almost like you taking my freedom of speech.
I agree with that
to a certain extent.
True, but then if you're using your freedom of speech negatively, right? We got Chris Brown. To me, it's the biggest like example of why cancel culture is bad. Chris Brown had a situation with Rihanna years ago. We all know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Personal situation. It didn't involve me. It didn't involve you. It didn't involve y'all. But people have chose to hold that over his head for years, right? For years. As far as R&B artists go of this generation, he's arguably the number one, top 5. There's no argument. Probably one of the most generational talents we've ever seen. It's cost him jobs, album sales. I'm sure it's cost him sleepless nights, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that I can cancel him and say, because of what you did and what happened with you and Rihanna, I can no longer support you, yada, yada, yada. But him and Rihanna have forgiven, moved on. They have a somewhat of a friendship now. They're better, basically. The two people in the situation have moved on from the situation. But people outside the situation are holding on to it. That is my issue with the culture and canceling things.
So yeah, they might have moved on together in that situation, but regardless, like the situation still happened. And if me as a bystander, an outsider, if I don't agree with that, literally, if I don't agree with the action, I don't have to forgive Chris Brown. I don't have to. I don't have to be friends with him like Rihanna. It doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't matter why. It really doesn't. It's just the fact that
no.
This is what
my question is. That's true, but you don't have the. I want to say it's the wrong way. Chris Brown don't owe you nothing for you to forgive him for anything because he did nothing to you. You chose. He didn't. You chose. Look, you as a human chose to put him above making certain mistakes, right? That's basically like saying someone who goes to jail and serves their time, when they get out, I don't have to look at them as time served, right? True, you don't have to, but you not looking at their time served holds no value to their life. It should not devalue what they've done and how they've moved on. Cancel culture tends to do that, and it holds it literally, it can make or break somebody, and it could affect their life in a way it shouldn't. It's toxic because do we have an acceptance culture? We only got cancel culture. When you heard somebody say, "Oh, he's accepted, she accepted," we're gonna spam the timeline. They accepted.
Gary Owens is accepted. I'm just gonna say that.
But that's in the black community. That's in the black community. I'm talking about on a wide scheme of things. Like, when have we promoted? When do we promote rather than demote people? How often should I say?
I think we promote people. But I don't know, man. I feel like if you're in you know what? I'm just going to take the status out of it,
Yeah.
you need to understand that everything that you do has a consequence, whether it's good or it's bad. I think consequence is always bad, right? Or
there can be good consequences.
Whatever, something will happen out of every decision that you make. Yeah. That's life. That's life, and you have to understand that. Now, if you steal from a store, Food Line, for example, if we don't go to jail, we have to understand that we were blessed. If we do go to jail, regardless if we stole a candle or a TV, it doesn't matter. If we go to jail and somebody else didn't go to jail, we can't look at it like, oh, that's not fair. That da 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 da. You still did something wrong, and you have to deal with the consequences, whether you get the same consequences or not. That's something that you have to live with, and you have to understand that. You have to be cognizant that whatever you do will have it will have an outcome. It will have an outcome.
Let's push it to the spiritual side of things, the religion side. We do things all the time. We sin all the time.
Mm-hmm.
My God doesn't hold that over my head for 10, 15 years.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
What right do you have?
The right that we have is that's just our decision. We are not God.
And that's where America is wrong. I'm going to say America. That's where the world needs to. The world needs to learn to forgive.
I think we should. Yes.
And mind your business.
I completely agree.
Mind your business.
I completely agree.
Decisions Kanye make rarely affect other people, so much merit over it, like directly impact. Like how does what Bill Cosby did directly affect me on my day-to-day life, right? Am I hurt to hear it because it's somebody I grew up probably viewed as a role model, probably looked up to and held to a certain standard? Yes, Chuck, it hurts. I can understand that. I can understand in you feeling heartbroken, betrayed, whatever, and you even a level of disgust. But Monday through Sunday, how does what he did affect you? You know, you personally, other than the people directly connected to that situation, right? I think that is where we have to start to pay attention to how much of ourselves we put into celebrities and we put into these public figures, and we rely on them to get us through our day to day. How often are we looking at them and saying, man, I want to be just like you? And how often are they looking in the mirror and saying, man, I don't like who I am? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We don't know them. You only know what they allow you to see. And then when you see something that you didn't expect to see, now you're shocked. You know what I mean? But we all have, things in our life that we don't show people. We all do things, and we all have different sides and struggles or whatever that we're going through that we don't show or that we hide. But being on a spotlight like that for so long, eventually something's going to get out. It's rare. It doesn't, and when it does get out, is it your fault because people viewed you a certain way?
I mean,
or is it their fault?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Okay. Is there a book of you can do things all the way up to here. If you pass this line, it's over with. There's nothing concrete in this world to say how everybody should react, how everybody should view somebody after they do something. Now, if there was a line, I can see that, but everybody has a different line. Everybody has a different threshold. Everybody has a different tolerance of what they will allow them to accept, or what they would allow them to keep influencing their life or being a part of their life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I believe that cancel. Now that I think about it, cancel culture is fine. It's fine.
Not, Chuck, because you keep saying they're personal. You keep saying personal to you. Cancel culture is not personal. I'm not.
Why do you feel that? Why do you feel that way?
Because Chuck, if you say XYZ, I don't want to follow this person because of this, right? That's you. If I follow that person, your opinion of me won't change. You get what I'm getting? You get where I'm getting at? Because that's why you chose not to.
Now that's not necessarily true all the time. Because if you continue to follow somebody that I don't agree with, I can be like, well, we clearly don't share the same value, so I might not need to talk to you as well.
But that's just how I feel about it. That is correct. But now you're looking at it from a standpoint of, I could understand things that are against the law. I can understand, abuse. I can understand those things, right? I can get that, right? But I could not agree with abuse and still play Chris Brown music. You get how two things can be true? Just because I listen to that doesn't mean I agree with what he did. Cancel culture is, if you support them in any way, you don't share the same views as me. You can't listen to Chris Brown. You can't. It can be true, but I'm assuming. You get what I'm saying? I cancel. This person should be canceled on the mainstream, right? We're canceling this person. This person is no longer getting our support. I'm speaking for the masses here, Chuck. I'm not speaking for me. This is how cancel culture works. I'm saying we should no longer. I'm not saying I no longer. I'm saying we should no longer support this person because of what they did, right? If someone comes and says, yeah, but they made a mistake, I don't support that mistake, but I can't sit here and act like their music isn't good, a reply would be, oh, well, if you support them in any way, you can't possibly disagree with what they did, but still say that you will listen to their music and support them because yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I put my support for, or I can disagree with people and what people do, but I don't hold your personal life to a certain standard. Like, I don't. Like, okay. I can't. Nike, Gucci, all these corporations have probably all did stuff, right? I can go and choose not to spend my money. And people who choose that, by all means, you got it. There are thousands of people who work at Nike. Thousands of people who are on that payroll. Is every employee bad? Is every person that on that board bad? So my thing is, because something happened within that corporation, I'm pulling my support for that corporation. But there's thousands of people affected if we do that on a grand scheme of thing who had nothing to do with it.
Right.
I feel like canceling there's a way to get your point across and say, I don't agree with this, I don't support your decision on this, and not cancel an individual.
So I believe that the act of actually officially canceling somebody, where they start losing a whole bunch of followers and all that kind of stuff, that's just the action after the idea. So if somebody puts their opinion and their idea out there, it's up to each individual to accept that idea, right? I believe that the goal in life is to love. Now, whether I agree with what you do or not, if I choose to cancel you or not, I'm going to still love you. At least that's what I'm going to do that. And I believe everybody else we should love each other, regardless of if we agree with it or not. Now, I'm going to take you to the spiritual world. You ready?
Go ahead.
Lucifer. I don't agree with what he did. I don't. And do you agree with what he did?
Nah, obviously.
You gonna cancel Lucifer, or you gonna continue to support him? You don't feel like do you feel like he should be canceled? Yes or no?
No,
Really?
because
You don't think that we should take our support from Lucifer?
No.
Not
when I say
stop
support,
loving him.
No. Lucifer has done. You're using someone, and they talk about in the Bible. Lucifer was a good angel, right?
Mm-hmm.
To begin with,
he's an archangel.
Does it diminish the good he does? Am I supposed to not look at that part of Lucifer because of what he did after, or how he became after that? Right? No, I can still appreciate who he was. Right?
You can still love him
and not support what he's doing. I'm not saying you should support. You're not hearing me out. I'm not saying you can't pull your future support, right? But you can't say you listen to Step in the Name of Love every day for 20 years, knowing all the if, ands, or buts about R. Kelly. But now that a documentary comes out, you can't stand to hear R. Kelly anymore. You can't. I don't see how that's possible. I don't see how.
But that's where it goes. That's where it goes. Everybody has their own opinion about it, though, and you have to respect that.
But look, correct. But what caused you to make that opinion, Chuck? Because we've all known. But look, this is what I'm getting you. We've known for years. The video was out for years of R. Kelly, and the situation with the underage child for years. But because someone makes a documentary, because someone else who has influence, Netflix, there's a documentary out now, or I don't know if it was on Netflix, but wherever it was posted.
Yeah.
Now you feel the need to cancel. My thing with cancel culture is it's not my personal choice 80% of the time. It's someone who has influence making a choice, and I support that choice.
Okay. Do you think that cancel culture has anything to do with social media now?
1,000%.
Okay, listen.
That is all it is.
Okay, listen. So we knew what R. Kelly did, but everybody didn't. Everybody didn't.
That's cap, Chuck. I didn't even know. I was a kid and I knew about it.
Okay. Okay. So this is the same example as far as it's people out there like going racial. It's people out there like white kids, just white people, all just period, that has no idea, that never seen a black person, that none of it, and they're not aware of any of the challenges that we may face. So now, since they literally can just grow up in the boonies or grow up somewhere where they just don't know, and then they get around and it was like, yo, like I don't feel that way. But
cancel,
now that
it's called cancel what?
Culture.
Come on, Chuck.
That's just a name.
Keep it a buck. Who controls that narrative? It's us. It's not
the community.
No offense.
Everybody.
It's our I give you that because there are other races within it. But canceling someone, it starts with us. Like that's us. That's us as black people who get on. It's Black Twitter. It's Black Twitter who comes up with this. So you're saying that there's other races who may not know. There's other people. We ain't even got to put it on just race. There's other people who probably haven't heard about R. Kelly. They're not the ones canceling them. I'm talking about to cancel someone means if they didn't know about him, they weren't supporting him. You can't cancel something you've never supported. You've never, you know what I mean? It holds no value to you. It's people who support said artists or these celebrities who pull their support because of someone else. It usually starts with someone else who has some level of influence, influencing other people to pull that support. Whether it be a LGBTQ community who wants to pull support from somebody who may have said something offensive to them, right? Whether it be Black Lives Matter, who want to pull support from someone of a different race who didn't support black people or said something that they found offensive, whether it be The Asian community is communities of people who have influence. I literally can't get on my social media right now because I ain't got a lot of influence and be like, yo, we canceling such and such. It'll probably be like 4 to 5 people who'll be like, yo, I'm with you on that. Right? Because I don't have that following. You have to have a stature and status to be able to cancel somebody.
Okay, so
why are you using your platform that way? How does that benefit?
Because they choose to. This goes back to what you're saying. Like they're regular people just like we do. They have a following because of what they do. But should they? So you're saying that because you have a status and everything that you. Well, yes, obviously you have to work. You have to obviously go about things differently. But you're saying that I can't put my opinion out there because
your opinion is different, Chuck. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion.
That's cancel culture. That's
not cancel culture, bro.
It's the opinion of everybody, and I choose not to.
It's not an opinion.
What is it? It's a fact.
I'm not giving my opinion on the person in the situation, right? I can give an opinion without canceling somebody, Chuck.
You can do that.
I disagree with Michael Vick in the situation with the dogs. That's my opinion. Never canceled Mike Vick.
That's your choice.
He made a mistake. Look, I'm finna tell you why. I disagree with Chris Brown. I disagree with Bill Cosby. I disagree with Kanye, right? To cancel someone, basically. And this is where it comes back to the word cancel and understanding what that means and what it entails. You can't love someone and cancel them.
That's not true.
I didn't say you can listen, cancel a factor or circumstance, neutralize or negate the force or effect of another. You're dead to me. That's what canceling. Think of it as in you're dead. You are dead to me. There's no way I can love something that I've dead. Chuck,
you can't tell me that that's what it means if it's not what it means.
That's what canceling is. You're basically getting rid of it. If I cancel a show, can I watch the show? If a show gets canceled, can you watch it?
No. You choose to remove it from your life.
No, not just you. I'm just talking about in general. If a show gets canceled, if they say I'm canceling season 2, will there ever be a season 2? No. If they cancel it, they say we're not running this no more. Right? Yeah. It's canceled, Chuck. It means it is done. You're done. I can't love something, or I can't say you're done, you're dead to me, but I still love you. Do you get what I'm saying? You have, Chucky, you know that. You cannot say someone is dead to you. They mean nothing to you, because I'm saying you mean nothing to me. Anything you do means nothing to me. I can't love you. I can't say that I still love you, though, even though anything you do, you mean nothing to me. You mean nothing to me. I'm canceling you from my life. You mean nothing. I could pull my support.
You're adding opinions to this.
I'm not adding okay. You have to really understand the word cancel. I didn't say, Chuck, I want you to get, you can pull support. You cannot agree. You can choose to not care about what they do, right? You can choose to not care. When I say I'm canceling you, hand to the face.
You personally, I am choosing to cancel X, Y, and Z. I am. That's my opinion. I'm not putting my opinion on anybody else. I'm not forcing anybody else to do it. That's what I choose to do. People agree with me and they start to follow me. How is that my fault? I'm putting my opinion. If you agree with me, then cool. Let's go on and do it.
Because it doesn't. I don't think you've ever been around and understood what cancel culture really is. I understand if you say, you know what, I don't agree with what he did, yada yada yada, and people are like, you know what, I don't agree with it either. You know, I don't want to support these things, yada yada yada. Right? I'm gonna pull my support. Cool, that's fine. Not once did you say you're canceled. Canceling means within our culture, I'm canceling you from our culture. Right? Think about it like this, meaning you're not welcomed here. If you love someone, that person you pulled your support from, I'm talking to Chuck.
Not true.
No, look, the person you pulled your support from, Chuck. If they need you, you're there. If they need you, because you just pulled your support from them. You get what I'm saying? You're saying, I don't support what you did, blah, blah, blah. You still recognize them as human, yada, yada, yada. You probably don't listen to whatever. You probably don't support their whatever. You don't support their outside stuff. Them as a human. We cancel people, Chuck, not what they did. Do you get what I'm saying? You're canceling what they did. You're saying you disagree with what they did, and for that reason, you don't want to support their. Cancel isn't, I'm canceling you as a human. I'm saying you as a human are no longer welcome.
Welcome. Yes. So what's the difference? So if I'm hearing you right, so if a man and a woman in a relationship, if somebody cheats, right?
Yeah.
And they choose, and let's say the man cheats on the woman. The woman now has a decision to cancel them.
You're using the word cancel wrong, bro. You're using the word cancel.
Let's pull it up. We literally have to pull this up. What does cancel mean? Like the actual definition, don't add nothing to it.
How about this, bro? How about this? Because it's using it more so. Let's do cancel culture. Where's that where the Black Dictionary at? All right. For those of you who aren't aware, cancel culture refers to the mass withdrawal. You heard that word, right? Mass withdrawal, okay, of support from public figures or celebrities who have done things that aren't socially acceptable today. Okay. Who have done things that aren't socially acceptable today. I'm trying to go into it deeper.
I like even in that, you have to choose to include yourself into that, regardless.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're right. I got to make the choice to be a part of that. But Chuck, you're looking at it from who you are as a human, bro. There are people who follow people who support people just because of who they are. So therefore, I take on your opinions, and I don't formulate an opinion of my mind. That is what social media has created in our society. A lot of times, we don't form our own opinions.
But why should that be my burden?
That's not your burden. I didn't say that's your burden. I'm saying cancel culture in itself. Kyrie Irving, for instance, how many people has something to say about what he said about the documentary that never watched the documentary? You didn't make your own opinion. You didn't. But because ESPN, First Take, Undisputed, CNN News, all these people are covering it, and they're giving you their opinions. Before you go make your own, you're like, oh, wow, he did what? He did that? Oh, yeah, I'm out. That is what I'm saying.
That's a lot of times foolishness. That's what it is. But see, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. There's no logic to cancel culture. It's not. It's not a poll here if you agree or if you disagree. Research this. This is the link for why I feel the way I feel about what they did. This is the proof to corroborate my story or whatever. These are the facts. Go read them before you make your decision. No. But what about the people that really got offended? Like it was a bunch of Jews. Like if it literally they saw the documentary, they viewed something to them as offensive.
They were offended by what Kyrie did, and they wanted Kyrie.
They were offended with the whole film. The whole film with how it portrayed Jews because I didn't watch, like I said, I didn't watch it, but it's a group of people that watched it that were truly offended by it. Who are we to say that they shouldn't feel like that? We can watch it and be like, you know what? I didn't take it like that. I didn't see it like that. So it's cool to me, but it's cool to me, but it's not cool to these other people.
Correct. They didn't cancel Kyrie though, Chuck. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
How do you know that those other Jews? How do you know that their culture could just? Hey, I'm not messing with Kyrie. Like Nike. Yes, Nike canceled them.
Yes, that's my point, Chuck. You're saying that they canceled Kyrie, right? No, they made their opinions known. Kyrie, you offended us. This is what happened. I don't support what you did. Yada yada. They didn't say. I won't speak for people, but it didn't, them personally isn't why what happened with Kyrie happened. If we want to keep it 100, the Jews themselves, it was ESPN, Nike, Brooklyn Nets. It was these companies, these big name, when they pull it, when they get on the talk show and they say these things and they formulate their opinions, because their job is to do what? Give their what?
Their opinion.
Give their opinions, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
People listen for their what? Opinions.
Their opinion, yes.
I may not watch every basketball game, but if Skip comes on there and says, oh, this happened in a basketball game, he looks scared. What do I have to go from other than Skip saying he looks scared? I didn't watch it. You know what I mean? So now it's people that I support, that I'm confident in their words and their opinions. So now I'm like, man, he really did that? Or that's really what happened? Oh, that documentary said this because I watched a little short on TikTok. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he was right or wrong. I'm not saying people that were offended. Because Jews, it directly impacted them, Chuck. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It directly impacted them. I'm talking about the people who it does not impact. Do you get what I'm saying? People who watch Sports Center,
that it don't impact you. That don't even make sense.
That is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Now, Chris Brown and Rihanna, their situation did not directly impact anyone. You can disagree with it. You can say it was wrong. You can say this, but when same thing with Mike Vick, it did not directly impact anybody. He even went to jail for it. But you can't sit here and say, I won't say you can't. I think it's foolish. This is my opinion, by the way. I think it's foolish to say you did something 10 years ago. I'm not talking about in the present, Chuck. I'm not talking about when something happens to, man, I'm gonna just back up because you know, we do that with each other. We do that with friends. We do that with family. Like, you know, you got a lot going on right now. I'm gonna pull myself from that.
Right.
As you start to grow, as you start to change and evolve, what good does it have for me to hold that over your head? My issue with the culture and canceling people is you're now withholding improvement and growth from celebrities. You're now saying you can't grow from this. You can't learn from this. This is who you are. This is what I choose to believe you are. You're canceled. That person could come 1,000 times over and ask for forgiveness. You're canceled. You're canceled.
So let's take the example. Just cut this part off real quick. I'm gonna be able to stay on. Let me. My client said that he can't show up. Man, talking about, can you bring me at my brother's job and cut me out there? No, I'm not doing that. Like, who says that? Oh, I got something for you too. Well, I got something for you, Maurice. Wow.
I believe though, when it started out, it was good. Like it was something that was needed because it started out as call out culture, basically call out your abusers. You know, the Me Too movement and all that stuff. I feel like now it's trendy. That's my whole point on it. It's just trendy.
Yeah. Okay. So. Let
me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. So those companies that like Nike that canceled Kyrie, right? Some people have to pull their support from something in order to keep their support from
or something
other
else.
entities.
Yeah,
That is okay. That is okay.
I don't agree I don't disagree with that.
Because I'm like, if Nike chose to cancel Kyrie, if Nike didn't choose to cancel Kyrie or choose to pull their deal, they could have. You're not saying it for sure. They could have lost a lot of money, and it could have been more detrimental than just canceling Kyrie. You know, like I said in the beginning, cancel culture is crazy. You know, it's all opinionated. I think it's very methodical. I think it is. You know, I have to cancel this person only because and honestly, we can say that I have to cancel this person because my supporters don't believe in X, Y, and Z. And in order for me to keep my status up, I have to take the hit on this one person. But still, that's my decision. That's my decision.
But you made that decision based off of decision based off of what's to come, what you expect or what you think will come, right? You didn't make that decision based off your opinion, right?
Okay, that's true.
Because after it was all said and done, these same people that were canceling Kyrie were the same people like, oh, Kyrie should be playing basketball. There's no reason Kyrie's not playing. Oh, Kyrie shouldn't have to do that whole list. Mind you, Chuck, these were the same exact people who got on air and said, I'm ashamed of Kyrie. I can't believe he did such thing. And none of them watched that documentary. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a fast react. Now, I don't believe it always has been like this. I believe when it originated and it was, used as a way to call people out, who probably had a platform, who had said offensive things or were doing offensive things, to shed light on that. I understand that. I understand the shedding light on people doing wrong things, right? I understand that aspect of it. But to say that Tory Lanez was canceled, I'm not going to talk about now, but when it first happened, to say Tory Lanez was canceled because he shot Meg before we knew anything about what actually happened in that situation, I feel like it's so reactive. Cancel culture now is more reactive. Sure. It's not methodical anymore. It's not, well, let me gather my evidence. I
think it's both,
let me see what I know. I think it can be like that. And I think used that way to shed light on people's wrongdoings, who are held to a certain standard, and bring awareness to the wrong in the world. I agree with it on that aspect. But the simple, oh, you did what? It's in the tabloids. You're canceled. I'm talking about Black Twitter here.
They have to protect their investment. They have to protect what they got going on.
I'm not talking about corporations here now. Now, the corporations, I get you. I get why Nike did what they did. Do I agree with it? No. But I understand that. They have a lot to lose, right? So it's better to cut ties now rather than to wait and see how this pans out. Because we've seen how it can affect people who do wait. And so they have no offense to Kyrie, but Kyrie is a small portion of who they have to appease to, right? I get Gucci, I get the corporations. I understand why they do that. I understand why endorsement deals are cut. I get that. That's an image thing. I'm protecting my image. But to get on social media and to blindly, based off of your opinion without concrete facts or without giving yourself time to understand, okay, they did this. How often have they done something like this? Is this who they are? Did they make a mistake? Did we cancel, what's the guy's name? The football player who got in the accident. He was driving. He played at Alabama. I can't remember, but you know who I'm talking about. And he was drunk and he got in the car accident.
Really, it was
I really can't think of his name.
That bothers me because I'm a fan.
Me too. Play for the Raiders.
Yeah, he did.
Henry Ruggs.
Yes.
Henry Ruggs made a dumb decision. Did we cancel him for it? Because he took the life of two people?
We did.
Right?
We didn't.
Huh?
We didn't.
But there are people out there who believe you shouldn't have been speeding. Why are you doing that? Why are you drunk? Why are you driving? I agree with all of those, 100%.
It just depends on how much we want to put our opinion on it. Because
that's my
honestly,
point.
If somebody goes out there like I don't agree with Henry Ruggs. I also don't agree with Lil Nas X, and I guarantee you, what Lil Nas X did was a little less evasive than what Henry Ruggs did. I promise you.
Talking about with the shoes and the video and everything like that? Yeah.
All of it. Let's just say all of it. You know, I choose to withdraw myself from Lil Nas X completely. I promise you, completely. I'm not saying I will withdraw myself from Henry Ruggs because people make, crazy decisions, but is all my opinion. So, and people are vice versa. That's it.
So how do we fix? How do we fix?
You don't.
How do we? Because you're saying that's your opinion, right? If you went online and you said, this is my opinion, I'm sticking to it. If you support me, you support me. If you don't, you don't, right? At the end of the day, you're going to lose no sleep knowing that there are people out there that support Lil Nas X.
For sure.
Right? The culture, the way cancel culture is to me, how I perceive it, this is my opinion. It never starts as I. It's always we, right? We need to cancel this person. Not I. It's always we, right? Which means I'm already pulling for your support. I'm already pulling for the masses, right? Because it's a mass thing. We need to cancel said person because of what they did. We can no longer tolerate this type of abuse, disrespect, foul language. It is asinine, whatever you want to call it. And we need to withdraw our support of their commerce, our support of their company, yada, 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 right? And then you get people that say, you're right. We as a culture, we as Black people don't need to support Gucci, don't need to support these big brands. They got the monkey and all this stuff. And like, what are they doing for us? Yada, yada, yada. They don't think about us, right? That's what we say. But let me see somebody in Gucci and that's how I feel. Let me see my brother or my sister in Gucci. Really, sis? You wearing Gucci? After what happened, are you not woke? You don't see the bigger picture here? It's not my opinion anymore. I'm forcing my look. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, it's my opinion. I'm now forcing my opinions on you to sway you, right? Based off of my opinions.
How do you force your opinion on somebody? I never understood that.
It is easy.
Force it onto somebody or just make it known.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that you're going to take on my opinion, right? Forcing my opinion on you means judging yours because it's not mine. That's how I view forcing my opinion on it. I can let you know Chuck, this is where I stand. I see where you stand, bro. We on different sides, but it is what it is. That's me life. Stating my opinion. Forcing my opinion is your opinion doesn't agree with mine. Mine is right. I'm forcing my agenda, right? I'm forcing it for you to get that what you're saying is wrong, right? When you force your opinion on someone, you're basically using your opinion to persuade them and saying that anything outside of that is wrong. With the cancel culture, I feel like a lot of it is forced opinions. And I think that goes into social media. We follow people and we support people in blindness, Chuck. I don't know what LeBron and his wife's relationship is behind closed doors. But we look at it and we say, that's Black love. That's what I want my relationship to be. We don't know. We don't. Until we know. And now it's, wow, I can't believe. You know what I mean? Because
that myself put them on this higher pedestal. I can't believe that I did that.
Exactly.
And without knowing everything. So now that I do know, I'm going to bring them down off of that pedestal. And that's what I choose to do.
But that's not canceling someone. You're saying, now I know into your life. Chuck, I don't know everything about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I can bring awareness to it. And let's say you find out something about their relationship and it wasn't what you thought it was. I ain't talking about no LeBron cheated, right? People cheat every day.
Mm-hmm.
Should he be canceled?
To some people, yeah.
All right. Why is cheating a means of me to cancel someone? If
how do you
curse
feel that
at me, should you be canceled?
The people that canceled him for cheating might be really against cheating. The people that cancel somebody for cursing are really against cursing.
Chuck,
and that's their opinion.
That is factual, but at the same time, why should I live my life because there's something I'm against that is not wrong? And when I say wrong, we're gonna take the Bible out of it. We're gonna take, whatever. I believe you shouldn't cheat. Mm-hmm. I know cheaters. Mm-hmm. I am friends with people who have cheated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't agree with cheating. There's a lot of people like that. If literally that's how you feel, then everyone you meet in your life, you should do a truth, give them some truth serum and say, have you ever cheated? Therefore, no one in your life, if you cancel LeBron, mm-hmm. there should be not one person in your life that you are mm-hmm. associated with, that you know, mm-hmm. that you support, that has ever cheated. And what makes cheating in a relationship worse than cheating on anything else? The act of cheating, the act of infidelity, right? Yeah. I get what you're saying on the religious side. I get that on marriage, uh-huh. right? On marriage. Uh-huh. I'm taking that out of it because if that's how you view it, you're, as a Christian and what marriage really entails, mm-hmm. why are you canceling someone because they cheated? If you're a Christian, you get what I'm saying here? That's why I'm taking the marriage aspect out of it. Mm-hmm. So I believe that there are things that we should pull support for and we should no longer support people for. I agree with that. Racism shall not be tolerated. But can I say something, Chuck, that's perceived racist that wasn't supposed to be perceived that way?
For sure.
Can I apologize and can we move on?
You can. You can. Now,
correct.
who you apologize to, they have the decision.
I offended you by not knowing I offended you. I apologize for offending you. I take mm-hmm. responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm. What you should do, and you should do that anyway.
You should do anyway.
But look, because you didn't get the reaction,
do I owe you that? But do I owe you that?
You don't owe anybody anything.
If I say something that you find offensive, mm-hmm. but I didn't mean it that way, mm-hmm. and I say, well, I didn't mean it that way. I'm not taking it down. Skip didn't take down a tweet because he didn't feel like what he said was wrong. He felt like it was misperceived, right?
Right. We should cancel him.
He takes it down. He gives it power. He leaves it up.
He gives what power?
He gives power to the people who disagree, right? If I pull something back, I'm kind of saying, oops. Mm-hmm. And now I'm giving that story to leeway because it's like, oh, he pulled it down. He must have knew he was wrong. Yada yada yada. Now that story keeps going.
Not necessarily.
How many times do you see a tweet after, or do you see such and such tweeted something, but it was removed? You see mm-hmm. that more than you see them tweet the tweet while it's still up.
Right.
They wait and see that something is removed, and then they feel like, oh, because it was removed, it holds more. It feeds into that fire of it being wrong.
Bro, the reason Skip ain't pull that tweet. He didn't pull that tweet because the people that he get his support from, the people that line his pockets, the people that add value to his life don't care. If they cared, I guarantee you that tweet would be gone. If his producers truly cared, that tweet would be gone.
Correct, and incorrect. He didn't say anything wrong. That's my point.
He didn't.
So I understand that aspect. Had he said something wrong and he chose not to take it down, Kyrie didn't say nothing wrong. You get what I'm saying? 2 instances. Mm-hmm. The difference is Skip offended people by how they perceived it. if Skip comes and says it wasn't supposed to be perceived that way, I'm sure he's had personal conversations with people. He didn't do it on air, but I'm sure he's had personal conversations.
He had follow-up tweets to kind of explain himself, which I get.
If I do that, right, why? And I tell you, hey, you definitely took that the wrong way. Even think about it in a relationship or a friendship, bro. I didn't even mean it like that, bro. Like, yada, yada, yada. And I express that to you, and you still formulate your opinion based off of your perception of something. Is that my fault or your fault?
My fault. Your fault.
How's it my fault? Because if I say, Chuck, you
because you perceived it that way.
No, yeah, it's the person who perceived it right. If I say, Chuck, you're getting kind of big, and you take that as, dang, you calling me fat, and I mean, like, nah, like buffing it, you getting strong, bro. Like you getting strong, but you just your insecurities or how you feel about it, like, nah, bro, that's kind of messed up, bro. You gonna call me fat? Like
it clearly seems like you didn't have any tact when you said that at all.
You know
because it could go both ways, but you choose.
Correct. But then if I say, nah, I ain't mean it like that, bro. My bad. You know what I mean? People misuse words.
I have to choose to forgive you, but if I don't, then it's over with.
That's on you. That's no longer my responsibility.
Sure. Yeah.
And so now if you take what you just learned or what you chose not to forgive, knowing it wasn't perceived that way or meant to be perceived that way, I'm not talking about the people who, and if I don't give an opinion on it, and if I say, look, take it how you want to take it, Chuck, I'm leaving that up to you. For you to go and say, he said this and he meant this, therefore he's wrong. I'm putting it on a baby terms. You're wrong for doing that. Because who are you to tell me how something, how what I said was supposed to be received or perceived?
Now I believe that the concept
Kyrie said nothing.
The concept of what you said was right. How you said it was wrong. Because, I mean, we're going to have to cut that part because I forgot what you said. I hate when that happens.
I said, basically, if I omit, if you say, bro, what do you mean by I'm getting big? And I say, you know what, Chuck? Look, hey, if you whatever you feel, whatever, bro, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm omitting giving you further. For you to go and say, oh, well, he meant I was getting fat, right? Without that coming out of my mouth, I feel like you're wrong to then push that agenda based off of how you took it. And I never said that's what I meant. And it wasn't, and I didn't say you are getting fat. I said you're getting big.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's wrong for you to push the issue and say what you thought they were saying. That is wrong. Say what they actually said and say, this is what I believe he meant, and then go from there. If you don't do that, that's when you start getting into that gray area, that really shadowy area of, is this right? Did he really say that? Like, give us all the facts. Don't give us what you perceive it is. Give us the facts and then give me the facts and then give me how you perceive it. And then we'll go from there. And then I can formulate my opinion on that. But if you give me your opinion and say it's a fact, that's not okay. That's not okay. Not okay at all.
All right. Well, y'all tell us what y'all think about cancel culture. If you think that it's good for the culture, if you think that it can be blurry at times, let us know. I'm all ears. Let me know how you feel about it. If you've ever canceled anybody or whatever, and give us some feedback on that. But let's go ahead and move on, man. Let's do a little sports segment. We're gonna move it a little bit. We're gonna knock out this sports segment. First things first, man. You want to touch on Damar Hamlin?
So prayers up to Damar Hamlin.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad he's recovering well. He's doing better. I put it on Facebook, and I stand by this. I believe that the support that we as a nation, we as the world is giving Damar Hamlin, we should give that same support to everybody. So millions of people that I didn't even know who Damar Hamlin was before this, before the instance happened. And I love everybody. I support everybody. But it's a lot of people out there that just, pray for him, pray for him, pray for him, pray for him, really offering their support, because of what happened. This right here can happen to anybody. This actually happens. I'm not going to say it actually happens, but this is not anything like unnormal. He went into cardiac arrest. People go into cardiac arrest every single day, we should support everybody the same exact way. We should show love to everybody the same exact way. But yeah, prayers up to him. Glad he's doing well. Hopefully he can get past this and we can see him on the football field and support him living his dreams. And doing his thing out there.
Absolutely. How do you feel about the game not being played anymore?
I don't disagree with it, only because, like, obviously the other players weren't the ones that took the hit or whatever, but emotionally, like, you got to think those two, something happened. The last time we saw each other, we were on the field. Emotionally, like that was rough. Emotionally, I don't think that everybody would really be there. And it's not saying that they can't play another team, because they can go and play another team and be fine. But the fact that we have to run this back, it brings back trauma. It brings back a lot of trauma. And I don't think they should play the game. I think we've had lockouts before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've moved on. I mean, I don't agree with Donovan Mitchell's 71 points. I believe they should take about 20 of them mugs off, only because he did it against my team. But man, he had a lane violation, but we're not going to do that. So it's other ways we can work around it. Both of the teams were good. Yes, I agree that this game was obviously very important to the standings and to everything like that. But I mean, we're going to figure it out, NFL. You move on, you play another team, and you win. That's the whole goal, is to win. So regardless of what your record is, once you come up to the next team, you better win. And if you don't, you're going home.
I agree. It's not the best situation for a lot of people, but it's the right situation, in my opinion. It's more than a game, man. It's more than a game.
It is.
They are humans. They put their lives on the line. As entertaining as football is, it is a sport that could result in death. Anything can happen out there. And it's a dangerous sport. It's a contact sport. Concussions, injuries, they happen all the time. And over the years, they've gotten better. It was a freak accident. It is tough. But I think the value of his life outweighs the value of that game. And home field advantage. I would I won't say I understand, but there are fans out there that are like, oh well, what about seeding? What about yada yada yada? Trust me, those players in that locker room at this point in time, they're not thinking about home field advantage. They're thinking about their brother Damar. Unfortunately, we do live in a world where people value football over the people that put on those uniforms and put on those helmets and put those lives on the line. And it's unfortunate that it takes something like this for us to come together around the world.
Yes.
When it comes to athletes and what they do every single day, and why they make the money they make.
Yeah.
Because it can all be taken away.
I know I recently had to understand that because I was really one of those people that was like, man, they make all this money. Get up. Like Kawhi, get up. You know what I'm saying? All these people, get up, go out there and play because you make all that money. However, they make all that money because we give them all that money. We, as a nation, give them all that money. And it's not like they just it's not like they live the same lives as us. They wake up early in the morning. They go to the gym and they're in the gym longer than 45 minutes to 2 hours. They're in that mug. You know, they're on the field practicing. They're on the field going through, tearing their bodies up, like really tearing their bodies up, you know, for our entertainment. I'm not saying that the money necessarily could be used differently. I'm saying that we put our money into this pot, and whatever the NFL decides to do with it, whatever these owners decide to do with it, that's on them. Once it leaves our hands, it's not our responsibility to know anymore. You know, we chose to do that. But these players are human. They do make a lot of money, and like you said, their lives their lives matter. Their lives definitely matter. You can have a freak accident at a regular job. You know what I'm saying? So, ain't nobody gonna say it was like, man, look, get up and go make that money. Go drive that. Go. You know, go work that conveyor belt. Go be that assistant manager because we really need you. Nah, man, I gotta get my life in order. You know,
absolutely,
I gotta get my health in order. Yeah, man.
But it's good that he's, like you said, it's good that we got some updates and he's doing better. He's recovering well. So like we said, prayers out to him and his family, the whole Bills organization. Shout out to the training staff and just, you know, even the Bengals organization. Everyone that was there, yes. They did the right thing. They handled it the best way possible. So, you know, kudos to them. But let's move it a little forward, man. You said, is there a correlation between officiating and scoring in the NBA? So you really feel some type of way about this this D Mitch 71, as Perk would say, 71 fried lemon peppers, you know, that he put up on y'all.
Yeah, man.
Because of a missed call.
Obviously, yes. I'm upset with it. It's whatever. I'm gonna move forward from it, but. Let's just take all the other games, you know, like you said, like we were talking about yesterday. That 2-minute review, like,
yeah, the 2-minute review,
it
man.
Probably
I don't
sucks
like it.
that we do that now, but
because especially like you said, I didn't been watching the game and some stuff happened in the game, and then the next day 2-minute review come out and they're like, oh, we missed such and such. His foot wasn't on the line. It should have been a 3-pointer, and they would have won the game. And I'm like. I think it's useless because it does nothing. You know, I guess it's used to it's used to show the refs where they could improve, but there's no accountability. You know, it's not like it's not like these refs are held accountable for making bad calls, for making emotional calls that impact the game.
I don't know.
Things like that.
I don't think that I can't say for sure. I don't think the accountability is publicized. You know, I think once these 2-minute things come out,
why do you publicize? Why do you? No, Chuck. If I'm going to publicize a player reacting to a ref a certain way, why wouldn't I publicize a ref reacting to a player a certain way? The thing is, you're there to officiate, right? You're there to do a job. You're in the public when you do the job. It's seen you doing the job inappropriately. It's seen you doing the job emotionally. Early kicking players out early. Like off of the littlest stuff, calling technical fouls because somebody says tech. You know, you're forcing these players to say, come out here and don't be emotional. I understand foul language. I understand, you know, taking it too far. But the natural reaction, when you get fouled, whether it be NBA, college, rec, YMCA, is to look like, did nobody see that? You know? Right. Now, we playing pickup. I'm going to call foul. I don't have that leisure in the NBA. I'm trusting you to do your job. So, why is it that I can't even speak on your job at a press conference without getting fined, right? I can't say anything about the officiating publicly, but I can get in trouble publicly for anything I say, anything that's reviewed, anything within that deals with an official. But these officials, and you can say that it's taken care of in private, Chuck, but I don't know that.
Facts.
I have to go off of, and I'm talking about as a player, I have to go off of your word that you're saying you're fixing it in private, because you don't. If it was, and the reason I feel this way, if it was being conducted in private, players would have less to say. If they knew that, okay, they're going to deal with that privately with him. I don't think that they know that it's being done. I don't think that they think it's being done.
So I believe that if you were to put these refs on blast, obviously we can go back and look at the game, make correlations with calls, and we're looking at specific refs. You know, these refs are supposed to be the best of the best. They're in the NBA. They're the NBA refs. They're supposed to be the best of the best. They pride themselves on that. But at the same time, we have to understand that these refs are not perfect. Absolutely, they're not perfect. So when something happens and they miss a call, we go back. I believe this 2-minute review, we go back, we're able to get concrete evidence that, instead of everybody saying hearsay, like, hey, this call was missed, blah, 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 for years. Now we have proof, or not, it's not even for us. Now these the reffing world company, whatever, they have proof and they have something to go off of. Hey, man, Tony, you missed this call. Look at it. You need to make sure that when you're officiating this game, you take a sharper look at what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? By calling these refs out, man, do you remember I think it was last year when people were talking about Scott Foster and Chris Paul?
Yeah.
That was crazy. He was like, hey, man, Scott Foster going out there, RIP to the Suns. We don't need to be doing that. Honestly, we don't need to be doing that.
I like that, because
you can't do that, because if this ref come into the game, now you got the fans booing the refs, and it's not even about the freaking refs.
but look, I don't have a problem with that, because they'll say, oh, when Chris Paul plays and Scott Foster officiates, it's yada yada yada, right? How many times has it been said that Chris Paul is a dirty player? How many times has it been said that Chris Paul gets away with a lot of stuff? So now there's just one ref who holds him accountable, or things don't go Chris Paul's way now. We're not supposed to enjoy that. You know what I mean? We're not supposed to. But on the same flip, we'll say Draymond, the officials are out for Draymond, because of what Draymond does. I'm talking about years ago, obviously. But we can't. Jaylen Brown called out the refs for constantly calling traveling on him. He didn't take away his accountability and say that I didn't travel. But you don't think refs watch a screen and say, oh, this guy is prone to traveling. So they're probably watching that.
Which they should.
They're correct. But why are you watching me, Chuck, and not everyone? It's not. You may not be prone to travel. That don't mean you don't travel.
You think
you get what I'm saying?
Looking at one person on the court?
No. If it's known that I travel, they're going to be on alert for me to travel. You get what I'm saying? If it's not known that you travel, they're not. It's not in their mind, right? If I know he can't go left, right? Think about it like a player. They have a scouting report too with players. Oh, I know Draymond gets a little feisty. He does this, that, and third. I got to watch out for his antics. I got to watch out for certain players' antics. Players have reputations. Refs can build a reputation based off of what you've done in the past. Therefore, it can penalize you in the game at a higher rate than it would penalize someone else. Everyone in the NBA travels, Chuck. We see it all the time.
Oh, I know. Carry.
But carries, bro. But if a player has a reputation of getting called for it, I'm already going into that game saying I need to watch that. I need to watch and make sure he's not shuffling his feet. Versus me saying you shouldn't, because every game is a new game. As a ref, there should be no bias.
Every day is a new game, but that's the same player. We have to.
Chuck, I get that.
We got to keep officiating all the way around.
No, you can't officiate, Chuck. You're looking at it as, oh, I'm prepared. No,
you are. So we can stop getting missed calls, because that pisses people off.
I get that, Chuck, but I'm saying he's getting called for it, Chuck. I'm not saying he's not getting called for it. I'm not saying he's prone to traveling and getting away with it. What you're creating is an atmosphere of watch Jaylen Brown on his footwork. You hear what I'm saying? Watch Jaylen Brown. Not watch every player. You're now coming in, watch Draymond Green on his reactions and how he reacts to fouls.
So are we not supposed to keep these players accountable? Like we keep the rest accountable?
I don't disagree with that, Chuck. But as a referee, I can't do my job equally by focusing on what one player does in the game, right? Because at that point, I'm going to put more emphasis on making sure Chris Paul gets called for certain things, i.e. Scott Foster or Draymond Green. And it's going to take away less emphasis of teams antagonizing, teams putting them in that position to do stuff like that, teams drawing fouls or doing things to kind of, I know that if I do this, they're not looking at me. They're looking at Draymond, right? We know how NBA players act. You know, I know
they find loopholes.
They find loopholes, right? Flopping is created because, this person runs full speed. I know that they're watching that. I know that it's been said that this person is uncontrolled. So when he runs into me, I'm a flop. It took years before floppers started getting fined. But flopping, you know why flopping had to be in the game? Because they're going to just let this person run through me. There's no calls. Yeah. So that's my point with the refs is
evolution.
You can't call a flop and you can't call a run through because you created flopping because you didn't call people lowering their shoulders and attacking defenders. So now you created flopping. So now you're calling these floppers, but if I don't fall, I don't get the call. Well, players are taught now fall.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Chuck.
That's because
why should I have to fall?
That's because we're not getting the call. Like LeBron James. I honestly, for real, or honestly, let's go back. Let's go back to Shaq. Man, Shaq used to get beat up, but because he's so big, and you're like, it don't affect him. Just because I choose to be stronger than some of these other dudes, if I get fouled, I get fouled. You know, the game has been evolving since the 80s. You know, people used to get beat up in the 90s. But now you can't do that. It's just evolving.
Exactly. It is. So we can't get mad at floppers.
I don't get mad at floppers. I think it's a part of the game. Now, if you get called for it and we find out that you flopping, hey, you need to do a better job. you know what I'm saying?
But flopping, in my opinion, flopping shouldn't be fined. Because their wording on it is flopping is playing on the official's eyes.
Flopping should be fine. I don't think it should. Only because it takes away from the
Chuck,
genuality of the game.
Flop?
I don't even know genuality.
I get flagrant flopping. I get that. But Chuck, you could run into me and I can have great balance, bro. I can have great balance. That doesn't mean you didn't foul me by running into me. Technically, if you run into me and I just happen to say, whatever, I'm going to let my balance go, that's a flop. That's a flop. In itself, that's a flop.
Well, first of all, players shouldn't be running into you. So if you choose to stand your ground and be strong, you choose to do that. But if they run into you and you know that they shouldn't be doing that, just fall. Just fall. Because they shouldn't be doing that anyway. We have to hold both sides of accountability. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I feel like refs need to be publicly called out.
Do you understand how hard? So, like I said, this game is evolved. Some of these refs repped in the 90s, so they just like, man, let it go.
That's
you know,
point,
but now they have to look at it. So, man, literally from after the 90s, man, the game has changed so much. You know, and we put a lot of pressure on these refs to really be accurate. And
I don't want you to be accurate. I want you to be unbiased. I want you to be unbiased. These referees have so much. They come into the game and you can clearly tell, Chuck, you can tell when a referee has an agenda against a player or when a referee does not like a player and it bleeds into the game.
Once that's proven, my issue. Then we need repercussions when we see that. Now, if there's no repercussions.
We don't see that. But that's my point. And you can't sit here and tell me, Chuck, it's done in private because you don't work for the NBA or Adam Silver.
I don't.
So that's my point. We don't see it because if we saw repercussions, they keep doing it. When's the last time you heard a ref being hired?
Replace them with?
Hire hire people, train people. I've been seeing the same refs, like you said, since the 90s.
They're the best.
Who are they? Who are they? No offense. No offense.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up watching 90s basketball. You grew up refereeing 90s basketball, 80s, say 80s, 90s. No offense, bro. This is a new age. You didn't grow up. You're not in this era of how things are played. Mm-hmm. I can't expect you to fully understand or comprehend things. You may be stuck in your ways. You may let things go that shouldn't be let go in today's basketball. You may react differently because of things like that. Hire new refs. It is rare we see new referees. And I'm not saying replace, but hire and start training for replacements.
How are these? So I doubt that you can get.
We hire coaches every day, B.
Listen, I doubt that you can go on Indeed and be like, I want an NBA ref job. They have to go through some kind of training. They have to go through some kind of selection process to be like, okay, you can be an NBA ref. Because I guarantee if I go and ref the Little League over here and be like, you know what, I got all them calls right, so I'm ready for the big leagues.
No, but you work your way up. But we see the process for NBA players. It's rec, AAU, college, NBA. Coaching, it's Little League, college, NBA, or it's NBA player to assistant to college to NBA.
You're following the coaches and players. You're not following the refs.
No, I get that. We don't see it. So now we don't see how new refs are hired, Chuck. You know what we don't see either? New refs being hired, Chuck. So my point, my whole point on it.
I don't know, man, because it's female refs out here that didn't ref 2 years ago. How they get
refs are grandfathered in. They got hired, Chuck, for that. Not saying they don't deserve the job.
Don't do that.
I'm not saying they don't deserve the job. I'm not saying they don't deserve the job, but it was diversity hires. Not saying they didn't deserve it, because I think they deserve it, but that's a diversity hire. I'm talking about
that doesn't take away from their skill as a ref, though.
No. Like, I'm not saying they shouldn't be hired. I'm not saying they shouldn't have. But my point is.
So you think you could just hire anybody and be like, just hire somebody and be like, yo, hey, you the best ref? Train this person up.
No, but you know what you don't see, Chuck? There's refs in the G League. They probably get called up. What I'm saying is, I've been hearing Scott Foster's name since Mike. Come on, Chuck.
Yeah, since forever. He's a good
Since ref. Forever. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not, Chuck. But NBA players play for how long?
You want to give these people a term, bro? And you got 4 years in the as an NBA
not
ref?
Not four.
What kind of term are you supposed to try to give these refs, though?
There needs to be a term.
How is it fair to give them a term if they're good at their job? If when they choose to retire, that's when they choose to retire. That's literally
the best job in the world. The number one job in the world has a term. There's terms for a reason, Chuck. Because when you don't have terms, you become too powerful. The issue that if you hear these players is these referees are cocky. They're powerful. They feel like they can just get away with anything, Chuck. Congress members. What is the number one fault in America? It's Congress. They have no term. You know what I mean? It's people on board on the Congress that are stuck in the 80s.
Whose fault is that?
That's America, right? There's no term. And we see how that affects America, right? You don't think not having a term, you don't think knowing, hey, I play with Michael Jordan, you ain't nothing, bro. I ain't gotta. You don't think that these refs are human, Chuck, and they talk smack to these players?
No, you don't think, sure.
You don't think that they think that some of these players are beneath them in the level of like, you're not a star, bro. You don't get no star calls around here. You know what I mean? You don't think that they
star calls around here?
Like I'm just keeping it a buck. They have egos. Some of these refs have
everybody
egos.
Does, yeah.
Your ego can affect the way you do your job. And we are seeing it now more in today's NBA, how referee egos are getting caught into play. It should never result in a technical foul, me talking. I should never receive a foul.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I'm a ref and you over here just talking and talking and talking, Bro, you're not about to just keep talking to me like that.
What's technical about? No. Not talking at you. I'm saying, come on, ref. Like, you didn't see the call. Look, when I'm driving, he's doing this, he's doing that. Like, you gotta see that. Come on, man, that's your job. Like, da da da. Cool. Look, watch when I do this, da da da. If you see somebody, you'll see a ref be like, get out my face, da 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 da. Be like, come on, man, I'm just trying. Boom,
bro, because they do it every play.
Chuck,
I don't want to keep hearing that. Let me look at the game.
Rules. Boom, you can't be a ref. It's not against the rules. I did nothing wrong. That's not your emotion. That's your emotion. You have no right as a ref. Where does it say I can't talk to the ref? Where does it say I cannot talk to you? Do you get what I'm saying, Chuck?
It doesn't say you can talk to me, but if I choose to listen to you, I choose to listen to you.
If you don't, you can't give me a tag. I'm not saying you have to listen to me, Chuck.
So what instance are you talking about to where like
it happened? Watch next game you watch. I don't know. I can't guarantee it's going to be a technical foul, but you'll see players that are complaining about getting calls. Right. Once again, nothing wrong with that. Not against the rules, Chuck. You'll see players
now in certain things like let's say for instance that Jason Tatum. It was a Jason Tatum call that was ridiculous. He put his hands. I was like,
I know that's what I'm saying.
That was lame, and everybody chastised that ref for that.
Correct.
Everybody did, but
even Grant Williams. I've seen Grant Williams talk to the ref and just talk and get a tech. He may have been talking a lot. And the ref,
we don't know what's being said.
But look, I've also seen Chuck. It don't matter. I'm not talking about curse words. I'm not talking about cursing a ref. I know a curse wasn't said because if it was said, he would have got fined, just like Marcus Smart just got fined. So it wasn't cursing. What I'm saying is, you've seen refs be like, "Let it go," and if I choose not to let it go, technical foul. I did nothing wrong. I don't have. You can't tell me to let it go.
You don't think that all this complaining, all this, hey ref, bro, that takes away from the game. It takes away from their ability to really just focus on the game. Now I got to focus on, all right, LeBron James, what you want? All right, Luka, what you want? All right, Marcus Smart, what you want now? What you want? Man, dang, let me ref the game. Let me be true to the game. Yes, I'm not perfect. I'm going to miss the calls. You know what I'm saying? But for you to keep going at me, like, bro, I'm overstimulated, right? At first, they get super stimulated reffing an NBA game, but you got all these players saying X, Y, and Z, what they not doing. Hey, ref, hey, look at over here a little bit more closely. Like these players, I think these players are putting a very, very high demand on the refs by doing that.
As they should,
and
Chuck.
I'm not saying that it's not allowed that they can't talk. But when it keeps going and going and going, and if the referee like, hey yo, I understand what you're doing. I understand you told me that. Now I need you to chill, because I got to do my job. If you don't allow them to go and do their job, then they're going to get a technical foul.
You was going to pay attention to it. Ref, it happened again. Come on now. He's doing it every time. Ref, come on, ref. Bro. At what point, Chuck, at what point do I as a player have to stop relying on you to do your doggone job? Like, bro, so I'm going to get mad. I'm going to get frustrated.
How accurate are these refs supposed to be? Like
some of this stuff is blatant. Jason Tatum did a layup yesterday and got literally his arm is here. You see the player doing like this. You see the ball go up, and you can clear as day. Clear as day. No, whether you saw it or not, if the ball goes up, that the player has hit his arm. There's no way that the player avoids either the ball or the arm. I'm talking about stuff like that. Players driving, and you see their head get knocked like this, and no foul is called. I'm saying, I'm driving like this, and I got the ball like this. And there's fines for that. So I would rather you call something that you don't agree with or that looks like a flop, that player's going to get fined for it. That's the whole point of fining. Is if the referee calls a flop, you're getting fined. That is the whole point of it. It protects the refs.
All of those calls take away from the game. Like you're slowing the game down.
But you can't. See,
you have to have a balance. But no, I'm not saying don't do it and let's let the game go, but you still have to have a balance. I'm not saying that it doesn't ever get called. I'm not saying that it never happens, but I'm saying that you still have to have a balance. You don't want to call because, and then how many refs is on there? What, four refs, or is it three? I think it's three or four. I don't know, but I mean, okay, if you want to solve the problem, put more refs on the court. So they make a ref for each matchup. Because if you only got 3 refs,
too many hands.
That's what I'm saying. How are they supposed to see literally everything? You know what I'm saying? If this foul,
for the
layup,
the NFL don't have a problem with it. 90% of the time, they can see offsides. They can see false starts. They can see this
refs out there.
It's not that many. It's not that many.
You got
the
ref on. You got the ref in the back on the offense.
You got the sideline. Hold on, how many refs in the NFL game?
Because I'm sure you
7
got
different refs, right? 7 refs.
7.
7 to 11 on 11, 22 people. All right. In the NBA, it's 5 on 5. It's 3 to 10.
That's pretty much the same ratio.
Okay. So, what do you think is harder? Because the thing with the NFL is they have certain people watching certain things, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is harder? Watching 12 people and watching for false start, watching for illegal motions, watching for offsides, watching for encroachment, watching every single receiver run every single route and every DB, watching for holding, watching for hands to the face, all watching this stuff at the same time. That's harder, especially hands to the face when it's 4 to 5 linemen that close together. How do you see that? Right?
You don't see it. You don't see it all the time. They get it right. You see it.
Yeah, but they get it right most of the time. Most of the time.
You can't say that.
It is.
You can't definitively say that.
You can say that because what I mean by that is they get it right most of the time, Chuck, is because you only hear complaints when, all right, holding. Holding is the one call that theoretically you could say happens every play.
Every single play.
Every single play, right? If it's egregious, though, it gets called.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Holding is the one thing that I believe that's the hardest to see because they're all bunched up. I'll give you that.
Facts. Yeah, I agree.
Everything else, though, PI, all that stuff, they're usually on top of it. They have missed calls here and there. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
And sometimes it does dictate the game.
So
you've never heard people call for a replacement of NFL refs.
So you don't think that,
and there's
not
NFL
a difference
refs
between play by play and then how the NFL is played and the NBA is played? Like the NFL, you run a play. We as refs, we're watching, run a play. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, my job is to watch this offense. My job is to watch the defense. My job is to watch this. My job is to watch that. Once the play is over, boom. What you got? Okay, cool. We got everything. These NBA refs, they're watching, and if somebody shoot the ball and they miss, they're going the other way. Somebody shoot the ball, they miss, they're going the other way. It's like boom, 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 boom.
But Chuck, you're 100% right. But 80% of the NBA game, fouls are called when the ball is in somebody's hand. So most of your calls are literally what you're watching. So it's not like you got to worry about. You don't see a lot of off-ball screen fouls, away from the ball foul, yada yada. They're usually not paying attention to that, and they don't happen that often. You literally have to watch the player with the ball, the player defending the player with the ball, and screens being set. You have to watch 3 players most of the time. You're watching 3 people between 3 refs. When someone is driving, you're watching the driver, the person contesting the drive, the help defender. 3 people, okay? When someone is shooting, you're watching the shooter, the person contesting the shooter. You're never watching what's going on outside the play. The NFL is watching the play and everything that's happening around that play. A run play and a holding is being called on a receiver on the right side of the field and the ball is being run left. That's, in my opinion, more discipline than someone driving and you hear that and there's no foul called. People being scratched up with the arm after a layup, showing the ref, and there was no call. I feel like I don't think their job is easy. Don't get me wrong. Because like you said, nobody wants to watch a game where fouls are being called all game long. It would just be annoying. People would foul out. But in the same breath, some of this stuff is egregious.
I agree, but you also got to think of the point of view. Like we as fans, or I mean, well, for the most part, we know we don't go to every single game, right? We got the best view of the court. Promise you. I promise you. I promise you that. Versus even the fans in there, some of the fans got the same one, but we as fans have the best view of the court. These refs are on the court. They are sometimes behind the player. So some things that they can't see, with us looking on TV, with us in the fans looking up at it, we can see a lot more. So it's a lot of calls that we are going to see that, ref, you should have seen that. Ref, you should have seen that. How am I supposed to see that if I'm right here down there?
In that aspect, the NBA should have more than one challenge call. I think they should have more than one. I think that one is because I feel like in the NBA, fouls and non-calls affect the game more than in the NFL.
No, you're right.
A toe tap, whether he was in or not, doesn't affect the game. Unless it's at the end of the game, doesn't affect the game as much as 2-point game. I drive to the basket and I go up for a layup. 2 people come with the rebound, ball falls out of bounds. Not in the 2 minutes, not under 2 minutes. Say like 3 minutes left, because in the 2 minutes they can review everything. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. I used my challenge earlier in the game, right? I don't have another one. I don't get one per half. You know what I mean? It puts onus on you. Even see throughout the game where you're like, bro, if they challenge that, they would get that reverse. And NBA teams, they hold on to it because they're like, well, what if late in the game something happens and I don't have it?
But what if my team is not playing well enough? Or what if both teams are playing so good that it come down to being neck and neck? It comes down to being neck and neck. That's where
I feel like they should have more, because I think that helps too.
Beat them better. Beat them better. Beat the team better. Have more discipline on the court. Make your shot. It's easy. It's easier said than done. I'm not saying it's not hard, but don't let it come down to that. Don't let it come down to that.
Don't let it come down to a lane violation.
Literally. I'm not saying that the Bulls they should have made their shots. It's plays out there that we see NBA players where a player will go up there, maybe everybody not down the court, and they just like, man, I'm tired. Let me just shoot a 3. Ain't nobody even down there to rebound the ball. You know what I'm saying?
My job is to come out here and win the game. How I win it shouldn't matter.
You said what?
If I win it by 1 point, if I win it by 20, at the end of the day, it's going to be a W, right?
For sure. But how you win or lose it depends on calls
and the officiating throughout the game can affect the game, can affect how I'm playing. They're calling all this ticky-tack stuff. Okay, I can't be so aggressive. I'm an aggressive player. They're not making calls. It's a lot of the way the refs officiate the game. It affects the game. We see that in the playoffs. Why is it that we even, and don't get me wrong, I'm okay with it, but think about it like this. In the playoffs, they're going to let them play. So I'm not doing my job no more as a ref. I'm letting them play. I'm not against that mentality, but it just shows you that there's no structure, no real structure to officiating. It's all predicated on who's officiating. The fact that we can say that different officials officiate different is a problem, Chuck.
No, it's not. You have to understand that people are different. If you want it to be so accurate, put some freaking robots out there.
But that's my point, Chuck. Me as an official, I should not officiate this game any different than anyone else, because me as an official, I'm being taught to officiate the same way that the other person is being taught to officiate. We're being taught the exact same guidelines. There is no
job.
Okay, well, no, there is now flagrants and things of that nature being called. Those are opinionated, right? Did you feel that the play was intentional? Intentional and unintentional is my opinion.
I don't know, bro. I get that. Some of those, you slow that joint down and you look at eye placement, but at the end of the day, if it's black, if it's gray, I as an official have to make that choice. That I get. For sure. So my opinion on whether it was flagrant or not, or your opinion on whether it's flagrant or not, can be different. That I agree. My opinion on the foul should not differ from your opinion on the foul. My opinion on the travel should not change. Those things should not change within the game.
I can't say, oh, because these are two feisty teams, I'm coming in here and I'm calling everything. But when it's two teams that aren't feisty, that aren't aggressive, I'm letting go. You know what I mean? I think it has to be the same way. Oh, I know that this team's they're known for playing aggressive, so I'm not going to penalize them for their aggression. How many times have you seen, like, even the Celtics playing the Nets in the finals? There were some fouls that didn't get called. How many times have you heard be the more aggressive team? And then when you're the more aggressive team, you get away with being a little handsy, being a little yada yada yada, because you're being aggressive. You're setting the aggression. You're setting the precedent at what y'all want to play at. And Steph Curry is my biggest example of. Steph Curry gets fouled, I believe 80% of the time he shoots the ball, lays the ball up, anything. I believe it. But because he's not an aggressor, he doesn't get those calls. Giannis creates a lot of contact. He's the aggressor. He gets the calls. He will get some occasional charges, right? But majority of the time, he gets the defensive foul. He draws the defensive foul.
Right.
It's just one of those things that is just officiating can really dictate. And the coaches tell you, don't let the officials dictate this game.
Dictate the game.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
When I feel, or me as a player, I may feel that there's emotions in this. So I don't know, man. It's just something to think about, man. I feel like we should hire new refs. I don't feel like we should get rid of the old ones, but change is good.
Oh,
change
for sure.
is good.
For
Bringing in
Some
new people
eyes.
is good. You need fresh eyes, people with no personal relationships, vendettas with players. People who can pull that from it. Because I don't disagree that some refs have an issue with some of these players. Some of these players,
you just gotta have facts behind some of this
disrespectful stuff. They probably coming all at these referees. So I get it. You be like, I can't wait till you drive.
Can't wait.
I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? So I get where it comes in, but I just think, it's just something that needs to be touched upon. But
I agree with you.
Close with that one, man.
Okay.
But that was a good little sports segment, man. We can go ahead and get ready to wrap it up here. I'm gonna go ahead and end it with my scripture of the day.
Oh, okay.
So my scripture of the day is going to be from Luke 6, and it's the New Living Translation. It says, love your enemies, do good to them, lend to them without expecting to be repaid. Then your reward from heaven will be very great, and you will truly be acting as children of the Most High, for he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. So my biggest thing with that, with the whole cancel culture, we got to love each other, man. People make mistakes. We all have different opinions. We all have differences and things and whatnot. But sometimes we got to look past those differences and look past people's mistakes, and we got to show love, man. You don't have to agree with everything that someone does to love them. Chuck says you can cancel and still love. So, if that's how y'all feel, cancel, but love each other, love thy neighbor, and just, be truly a blessing to those around you, and just spread love, man. Spread love. What you got, Chuck?
Yeah. Man, honestly, that was good. You can't really get no better than that. But yeah, definitely love everybody. Just because, like you said, just because you disagree with them doesn't mean you don't love them. You don't. Showing love literally means not to show hate. That's it. If just don't show no hate. Stop being haters out here. Like literally, quite literally. Yeah. Everybody don't live the same life as you. Everybody doesn't have the same perception as you. None of that. We all have to respect all of us as human beings. I might not be cool one day. I might make a mistake, but that don't mean you can cancel me. That don't mean you could not love me, because I made a mistake. Now, we still have to respect the opinions of everybody because it's their opinion, That's just the world we live in. Man, there's billions of people out here. Go get another friend. Go find somebody else to support if you truly feel like that. But
yeah,
don't stop loving them overall. Cool,
y'all. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Chuck and Mo podcast. Like we said, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any ideas or any recommendations on topics you would like to hear, please leave some feedback in those comments. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, all your major recording platforms as well. Follow us over there, and just, share this video with somebody. All we ask is, if you watch this and you enjoyed it, share it with a friend, with a family member, someone you think would enjoy it and could learn from it, and we're even here to be taught. So if you feel like we misstated on something, or something we said was not how you feel about it, let us know, and we'll definitely take that into consideration. But
I know I'm looking for.
Go ahead.
My bad. I'm looking forward to. I want some relationship stuff, going on here. I believe that just obviously, man-woman relationship, or spousal relationship, friend relationships, any kind of relationships. I definitely want to talk about it, and I want some involvement from our community, our listeners, our viewers. Help me, help you, help me. Be a better communicator, be a better person. We all have different opinions. Let's hear them.
Absolutely.
We gonna get to it. We're not exclusive to anything that we've talked about thus far. We'll talk about anything. We'll talk about a lot of things.
That's
not even about the flex,
Look over a lot of things.
Right. So, man. That's it for this episode.
That's it, y'all.
Continue to watch us, support us. We love you guys. And we out.
Absolutely. God bless y'all. Stay up.